Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. A little bit pissed off today, Flock, but we're going to dive into it. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. Reason why I'm pissed off, oh, oh man. People like to stir the pot, man. People like to stir the pot. Even after it was confirmed by our owner that there is no way in hell that he was going to trade Lamar Jackson. There's no way. He said that we are working on a contract with Lamar, and Lamar has been very, cooperative and responsive with that contract, and he absolutely thinks that the deal is going to get done. Oh, but rumors, and we address them because why not? Why not? There's been speculation, according to sources, there's been speculation in recent days that the Ravens and the Raiders are possible in discussing a trade for Lamar Jackson. There's a feeling out there that the Raiders are going to make us play for Lamar, and it's apparently going to be a big one. This just this is one of the things that pisses me off. Like, people try and stir the pot. Mind you, I understand. Tom Brady himself said that Lamar Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Tom Brady is a minority owner of the Raiders. Makes sense. And the Raiders don't have anyone at quarterback. They have a Geno Smith right this second. But again, what are they going to do with Lamar Jackson? They're not what are they going to build around Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's going to get probably the best contract of his life. Again, we're addressing the fact if this were to happen in a world where this happens, not in our world for sure, but in a world where this happens. Lamar goes to the Raiders. Ravens get 4 first-round picks, anyway, and a couple of players while they're at it too. And what is Lamar Jackson going to do? He's going to be stuck in limbo on the Raiders, who, mind you, pending what they're going to do with their own head coach, because what do they have? Pete Carroll, who was on a 1-year deal anyway. Then they don't have anyone at wide receiver. They have a terrible defense, minus Max Crosby, of course. There's honestly, there's nothing there for him. Mind you, it's Vegas. Lamar would be given the red freaking carpet, or the black and white carpet, since it's the Raiders. But still, there's nothing there for him. We're shutting this down right now. There's no way in heck that the Ravens are ever going to bite it. Sure, they'll probably say, what can you give us? And then the Raiders are probably going to talk and blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to say, this is how the conversation would go. He'll be like, thank you. We can give you all these picks and stuff. And then here's Steve Bisciotti. Yeah, I really didn't pay attention anymore after you said, we're looking at Lamar Jackson. I completely shut off right there because Lamar Jackson is our quarterback. That's exactly how the conversation is going to go. Him, Eric DeCosta, both said very, very clearly they are working on an extension with Lamar. They're not looking for any trade routes, and they both love Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, again, has been very vocal about staying on the Ravens, has been communicating with both EDC and Bisciotti. So, shutting this down right now. All right, moving on here. Should the Ravens interview Sean McDermott after McDermott was just fired by the Bills after losing to the in the playoffs? No, they're you have 15 people to go through in terms of interviews for a head coach. You got to narrow down the list. Like I said yesterday, I think that the Ravens will narrow that list down by the Super Bowl and come up with some good candidates for a final round when Bisciotti comes in and Lamar Jackson comes in. Mind you, I have said it many times. Kubiak is the best choice. Throw the kitchen sink at him, please. But again, he is most likely going to the Super Bowl. And, just pending how the Seahawks do these in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. But no, there's no point. McDermott can go to the Steelers for all I care. He can go to the Raiders. He's not going to get interviewed by the Ravens. The Ravens might look at maybe the Ravens would bring him in, but there's no way in heck that he's going to get a second round. maybe they're like, oh, okay, let's see. I don't, but at the same time, I don't think that the Ravens are going to do this because Bashadi said it himself. He wants to look at 12 to 15 candidates, and we have 15 candidates, and he doesn't want to look any further than that unless like something happens. Okay, I don't think that the Ravens should look after this anyway because, mind you, I have very controversial takes on Josh Allen. I don't think he's a great quarterback in clutch moments. I think Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback in clutch moments. And the Bills had a clear runway to the Super Bowl here. Lamar Jackson wasn't in the playoffs. Mahomes wasn't in the playoffs. The Bills should have had it. And look what happened. I don't like, and you can't blame a coach for 4 turnovers. That's just not the case. Especially the last play of the game that sealed your fate for the Bills' offense is when Josh Allen threw a pick. You can't like our head coach isn't screaming in your ear saying throw it. I'm just saying, but I get why the head coach takes the fall. They're not gonna trade Josh Allen because Buffalo would ride. But and anyway, so that's the point. So the point is that McDermott will not be interviewed by the Ravens, and on the off chance he is, there's no way he's going to a second one because the Ravens already have their candidates that they're looking at, and I think that McDermott should definitely look somewhere else. For anyone that says that McDermott would be a great coach, I'd love to hear why. Personally, but yes, he could be a great coach for the Ravens, but I want a young guy. Kubiak's my pick. If you disagree, please let me know. But I don't think the Ravens are going to go with McDermott. And speaking of guys that are heating up here in terms of who we want as a head coach, Jesse Minter, who is the Chargers DC, I mentioned it before in previous videos. People want him as the Ravens head coach. Mind you, I wouldn't mind this, a defensive coordinator as a head coach. Ravens thrive on defense. This is how they've won their Super Bowls in the past. It's just how we've always won our Super Bowls because of our defense. But Minter has no experience as a head coach, which is, again, I'm looking for Kubiak. Kubiak doesn't have experience as a head coach either. But the main problem with me, I don't want Minter to be our head coach. He could be a defensive coordinator for us. Cool, love that. But I also have hesitation about that too. Here's the reason why. It's because he's a Harbaugh guy. Jim Harbaugh brought him up for Michigan. He has he's part of that Harbaugh branch, I want the Ravens to be, mind you, again, I've said it many times, the culture that John Harbaugh left with us was brilliant and it was extremely well praised. Keep that. But anything beyond that, I want Harbaugh, anything Harbaugh related gone, which includes Minter. I don't want Minter with us, strictly because he's a Harbaugh. We need new blood that's outside the Harbaugh tree. Okay? Hence, bring in Joe Brady, who allegedly, according to sources here, we plan to interview for a second time this week at some point. Sources say. Joe Brady is one of those guys for me that is hesitant in terms of looking at defensive plays. He's an offensive coordinator, hesitant when he sees defenses shift around, but he's also a very innovative play caller. And the way he's brought up Josh Allen has been amazing for Josh Allen. I mean, it's true. Mind you, in my opinion, Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. This isn't a bad guy to bring for a second interview. Okay. I think that under Lamar Jackson, if the Ravens decide to go to Joe Brady as their pick as head coach, I think there's a lot of potential there. Mind you, my pick's always going to be Kubiak. Especially with the way that his offense handled the 49ers. It's, again, in a perfect world, I've said it many times of what my coaching staff is going to do. But if they decide to go with Joe Brady, I wouldn't be too upset with it. I'd be like, okay, let's see what he can do under Lamar Jackson. He has seen Lamar Jackson play. He has definitely probably thought that Lamar Jackson is a better overall NFL player than Josh Allen. Definitely, I'm not. I'm thinking for him. So seeing him play like use Lamar Jackson, use our defense, I think that there's a lot of potential there. But again, we have to wait and see. If he's the first one up according to sources for the second interview, all for it. I will bet you the Ravens are waiting, for the last couple of games of the season in order to, really get the ball rolling here. Thank you for tuning in to Ravens today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda again. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later.